Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to write around a circle in After Effects and how to animate it. Let's get into it. Let's get started. So click on new comp. I'm just going to leave it at comp 1, 1920 by 1080, 30 frames a second, and the duration is 6 seconds. Hit OK. First thing I'm going to do is hit Layer, New, Solid, and we'll make that black. Hit OK. Then I'm going to get the type tool and click on my canvas. I'm going to do Control V because I had this glyph already selected from Monument Extended. And I'm going to type up Heart of the City. And the tracking's way off, so I'll just bring that back down to 0 real quick. Control Enter. Hit V, and we'll bring this center. So right now my anchor point is not centered, so we'll center that real quick. I'm on a PC, so hit Control and double click on the anchor icon here, and it'll bring your anchor point to the middle. I'm gonna hit the ellipse tool, hold down Shift, click and drag to create this circle. And what that's doing is it's creating a mask. I'm going to go down here to the type layer, select it, drop down the menu. And under text, we'll go to path options. And under the path options, I'm going to select mask 1. And then on reverse path, I'm going to click on, I'm going to hit Control T for the type tool, click in there. And I want to bring in, I want Heart of the City to take up more space than it is currently. So I'm just going to select all that. Increase, oops, that's not the tracking. I'm going to increase the tracking on that. And I want the arrow to be a little bit more centered. So I'm going to increase the tracking on the arrow just a slight bit as well. And there we go. To animate it, I'm going to drop down the menu again, transform. I'm going to make sure my cursor is at the beginning of my timeline. Hit the stopwatch for rotation, then bring it all the way to the end. And input 359. So it's going to loop and do a perfect 360 circle. And right now it's... So you could see why I wanted that anchor point centered. Right now it's not rotating the way I want to. So the anchor point of the ellipse needs to be in the middle. So I'm going to hold down Control, double click on my anchor point, and now it's centered. So when you rotate it, it's going to be perfectly centered now. The next thing I'm going to do is go to my background layer. I'm going to rename that to BG. And we're going to select it, go to the effects controls, and I'm going to go into effects and presets and find the gradient. So 4 color gradients, what I want. I'm going to double click on that to bring it in. And I already had my colors selected. So I'm going to go grab those. We're going to click on the color, I'm going to change that to an orange, use the same orange, and then I've got my own teal and green that I want to grab. And there we go. And then this yellow I'm not going to use, so just make that black and drag it off to the side there. And all I'm doing is grabbing these anchor points for the gradient and moving it to the center of the frame. And I'm just going to grab my type layer again and center that. So for that, I want my align panel and align layers to composition. And I want to center that. The next thing I'm going to do is bring in a liquify tool. It's pretty funky how this thing works. If you've never used it, you can get pretty creative with it. I'm going to double click on that onto my text layer. And I'm going to hit this hand here, go to the warp tool options, increase the brush size a bit. And I'm just going to start playing around with the warp here. And now I want to animate it too. So inside the liquify tool, we're going to go to distortion percentage, bring it to 0, and I'm going to keyframe this. So at the beginning of my timeline, I'm going to go up to 20, maybe bring it up to 99, go to 2 seconds, maybe dial it back down a little bit. By the time 3 seconds hits, you can go real funky with it. 4 seconds, bring it back down. 5, I'll just move it a few percentage points so you can't even notice it. Move and animate, and at the end, I'm just going to bring it back down to 0, so then when it's looping, it'll have the illusion that it's a perfect loop. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is go to my project panel and get this VHS layer. I got it for free online, and I'll link it in the description below. So I'm going to drag it on top of Heart of the City, and I want to change the blending mode to overlay. And if you don't see the overlay option or the blending mode option, all you need to do is hit this toggle switch / mode button, and you'll have it appear or disappear. So yours might look like this. You just hit it once and it'll appear. Next, I'm going to create a little vignette. I'm going to hit my layer, new, adjustment layer. Select it. I'm going to hit enter and just call it vignette. And go into my effects panel and look for the vignette effect, CC vignette. Double click. And I'm going to bring the vignetting up to about 500 or so. And I'm going to take the angle of view down by half, so bringing it down to somewhere around 23. And the last thing I'm going to do is add some grain. We're going to create another layer and select solid. For this one, I'm going to change the color to 50% black. So all you want to do is start off by selecting completely black. Go hit B here on the percentage point and hit down 50 for 50%. Gonna hit OK, OK again. And now effects panel, and I'm gonna type in grain, add grain, double click on it. And in preset, I'm gonna select Kodak Vision 800T. And in viewing mode, I'm gonna activate full output, final output. And it's just creating a layer of grain for me. And in the blending mode, I'm going to go select hard light. And that's it. Let's see how it looks. That's it. Simple. How to animate around a circle in After Effects. See you next time.